know, like saying earlier, you've talked to some people, you want to get some stuff off your chest. You know, we're here to listen to you.
Why are you here? What happened?
And tell us what happened.
Well, very beginning, I asked my mother for permission to die. I'm bored with life. I don't like life. I don't like people. I don't like living it, basically. There's really anything depressing about it. It just is what it is.
It was a Wednesday on December 27th, 1995 in the Lone Star State when Kimberly Diane Hill gave birth to her second child, her baby boy, Kevin Jaswell Davis. Kevin has an older sister, Desiree Hill, who's about 4 to 5 years older than him. Kimberly made motherhood her top priority as she loved her children so much. On that same token though, she still had an adventurous side to her. She enjoyed herself a good concert. She went skydiving from time to time. But during her free time, she did enjoy some gardening, and for work, she was a hospice caregiver, nurturing those who were in their last days. People who knew Kimberly said she was a proud, devoted mother. According to her children, she was the best mom to have, and her son Kevin even vouched for how good of a mom she was to him, and how he never wanted for anything. So you can imagine how shocked, confused, and speechless everyone was when the devastating news of Kimberly's murder hit the media. On Thursday evening, March 27th, 2014, a day before Kimberly's 51st birthday, her 18-year-old son, Kevin, had approached his mother and told her that he didn't want to live anymore. He told her he no longer had the desire to be here on this earth amongst us, and he wanted to kill himself. He told her he was bored with life, he didn't like the idea of living, and he didn't like people. His mother, obviously devastated hearing this, told her son she didn't think that he needed to take things as far as suicide, but if it was something he truly wanted to do, he was legally grown, so she couldn't stop him. So Kevin went on to write a suicide letter as a final goodbye. But what Kimberly didn't know was that the little silver lining of basically telling him, hey, I don't want you to do this will break me if you do this, but go ahead if that's what you want to do, had unleashed an 18-year lifetime of violent, gory fantasies that Kevin had been keeping bottled up inside. Now, everything I'm about to tell you has come out of Kevin's mouth himself during an interrogation with police, which at the end of this video, you can watch in full yourself. So, a few hours after the conversation with his mother, Kevin, feeling liberated to live out his best psychotic life, grabbed a cord of some kind that he found in the house, and he approached his mother with the cord in hand while she was distracted, sitting down on the couch in the living room, watching TV, and he put the cord around her neck and he strangled her initially until she was subdued. However, he realized that she was still alive and she was trying to play dead. So he went and got a knife and a hammer that was in their home, which was in the 4300 block of Costories Road in the Windrush Apartments in Corpus Christi, Texas, returned to his mother who was laid out on the floor, and he started stabbing her in her head. Kimberly started to scream, which was clearly going to be a problem for him, so he bashed his mother in the head with the hammer, hitting her at least 20 times to the point that her brain became exposed. Yes, Kimberly's brain had come out of her skull as a result of the blows she took to her head. And if that wasn't enough, Kevin then continued to remove her brain from her skull to destroy it further with his bare hands by ripping it apart, describing the feeling of her brain brain as putty. And as if that wasn't enough, Kevin did the unspeakable. After destroying his mother's brain, Kevin looked at his mother's dead body on the floor with her head busted open, dragged her body into a bedroom in their home. And once in the bedroom, Kevin then decided he was going to lose his virginity that day, and he had sex with his mother's corpse and climaxed inside of her. After Kevin was done, he went to clean himself off, and then he wrote a note for his sister to find whenever she would have gotten to the house. At the time all this was happening, his sister was at work. Realizing what he'd done, Kevin took a shower, changed his clothes, grabbed his backpack, a bike, and rode to another town called Robstown. He rode around until the morning, where he pretty much gave up, tossed his bike near the train tracks, and walked to a nearby home, where he knocked on the door and asked the people who lived there if he could use their phone because he needed help since he had just killed someone. He called the sheriff and told them what he did. Deputies picked him up, and at the sheriff's office they called police in Corpus Christi to go do a welfare check on Kimberly. They went to the house and they found her undressed from the waist down at the horrific scene in her home at approximately 10 a.m. Now, I told you earlier how Kevin had been having fantasies about suicide. Well, apparently he also was having fantasies about murder. You see, on the other side of the same page of his suicide note, Kevin had wrote out a plan to murder both his mother and his sister, but his sister wasn't home. Kevin sat with the police and confessed everything to them. He told them this wasn't the first time he expressed to his mother that he wanted to kill himself. So when he wrote the suicide letter and she saw the front and the back of the letter, she became heated, and she told him, like, you know what, I've had enough of your antics. I'm sending you to go live with your sister. You can't stay here no more talking like this. And so this had set Kevin off, and that's when he went into his vile, disturbing, murderous rampage. He even told police straight up that he was a pervert and ended up confessing about how he committed acts of bestiality when he killed a cat. After killing the cat, he ripped the cat's corpse open and stuck his penis inside of the cat's corpse until he climaxed. A psychiatrist named Dr. Joel Kutnick interviewed Kevin, and at court, Dr. Kutnick told the jury what Kevin said to him, saying, quote, he used a hammer to kill his mother, and of course the skull split open. He wanted to make certain that she was dead. He stuck his hand in the skull and mixed up the brains. Then I think he told me he got a knife and mixed it up. Then he also said that it felt like putty, the consistency of the brain tissue. And then he said something about how he tasted the brain. End quote. Police had discovered another letter from Kevin at his house telling police to quote unquote chase him. When police asked him why he wrote the letter asking them to chase him, he said he was in a playful mood and wanted to go on the run for a little while. When police asked him why he did what he did, he said he just wanted to. They asked him, had his mother upset him that day? Did she say anything to offend him and set him off? He said no. He was just a terrible and disgusting person, and that Kimberly was the best mom to ever have. He said it in the most matter-of-fact way and said he'd do it again if he had the chance. He also told police that he wanted to kill his sister, but he changed his mind because he felt like it would have been a bit too much. But he was absolutely open to killing again. He said he's always fantasized about having sex with a corpse because to him it's just a body, a piece of meat. They asked Kevin if he felt he was mentally ill. Kevin said no, he was perfectly sane, and both prosecutors and medical experts also agreed that he was perfectly sane. He said he believed he should be punished to the highest extent of the law. When asked if he felt like he could kill again, he said yes, and he was immediately detained after his confession. On Tuesday, October 7th, 2014, a trial was held. During the trial, Davis could be seen smiling, casually cracking his knuckles and stretching. At one point, he even waved at the witnesses when they were asked to identify him. And on Wednesday, October 8th, 2014, the jury was in deliberation for less than an hour when they found Kevin Davis guilty of murder. As he was being sent off, his sister Desiree said, quote, you took the only person who had your back. Now you're all alone, end quote. And through tears, his grandfather, Clyde Hill, said, quote, I don't quite know what to say to you. You killed your mother. You just don't do that, end quote. Kevin's attorney said Kevin was offered a 60-year prison term that may have allowed him to get out at some point, but Kevin rejected it. He instead was given a life sentence. In June 2015, Kevin had put in an appeal, but he put the appeal in too late. In the state of Texas, an appeal should be entered no more than 90 days after the sentence has been imposed or suspended. Kevin filed almost 7 months after the deadline. As of today, Kevin's incarcerated at the Just 3rd or 4th facility in Richmond, Texas. According to his prison records, he will be eligible for parole in March of 2044. I don't really even know what to say or think. Pure evil is what this was. I just feel like I always wondered if people like Kevin were born evil like that, or is this something that they developed? To commit such satanic acts like that is underworldly. I just can't even imagine what went through Kimberly's mind as the first hammer blow came crashing onto her head by her very own son. She laid there trying to play possum to possibly save her own life, but instead he came back to where she was to finish the job. Her only son that, even by his own admission, was very well taken care of by his mom. How does one think to not only hurt their mother, but to then have intercourse with her lifeless body? My heart breaks for Desiree. I know she never would have even imagined she'd lose her mom in such a way. And I don't know if she'll ever find it in her to forgive her little brother. But if she does, that just speaks to her unbreakable spirit. May Kevin meet the karma that he deserves. Kimberly's service was held at the Memory Gardens Funeral Home and Cemetery on April 11th, 2014. At this point, she's been gone for 9 years now. May Kimberly Diane Hill rest in heavenly peace.
Saying earlier, you've talked to some people, you want to get some stuff off your chest. We're here to listen to you.
Why are you here? What happened?
Tell us what happened.
Well, has anybody gone to the house yet? Do you really?
We know what happened.
We have, but we want to hear it from you.
Or we have an idea. You want to look at that. Start at the beginning, man. What caused all this?
Well, the very beginning, I asked my mother for permission to die, or rather kind of commit suicide, the sort of beating around the bush sort of thing. Because, well, that doesn't really matter why I wanted to kill myself.
Sure it does. Tell us.
I'm bored with life. I don't like life. I don't like people. I don't like living it, basically. There's really anything depressing about it. It just is what it is. And so I wrote the note. I did.
When did you write the note?
Around 6-ish, 7-ish.
Today or yesterday?
Yesterday.
Okay.
That's on the afternoon one.
Afternoon.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then
She get upset with you?
well, no, actually. I mulled it over. And then on a whim, actually, I turned it over. Wrote a plan to kill both my mother and my sister, quite frankly. That's always been a thing of mine. I'm a bit of a pervert.
Yeah. Is it like a fantasy thing?
It is, actually. So, that didn't act. The best laid plans never work out, apparently, or at least the one scribbled on a piece of paper. Because she had decided she was sick of this stuff. She was going to go send me to live with my sister again. And so I kind of leapt off in a fury and just did it right then and there.
Okay. You did what?
Well, I tried to strangle her with a cord. A ripped cord from a video game console controller. That didn't work, huh?
Where were you? Your phone was
She was sitting on the couch watching TV.
Okay.
That didn't work out too well. She started screaming, and so I went to her room, opened a drawer at the very bottom to the right. I pulled out a hammer. I went back in the living room, and, well, you kind of get the gist from there. And, she was out pretty quickly. Kind of tried to play dead at first, but then I finished it.
So you hit her with a hammer when she was sitting in the sofa in the living room?
No, first I tried to strangle her, and that didn't work.
Right.
She grabbed the cord, so I raced back into her room, grabbed the hammer, came back out, and then did it.
Okay. How many times did you with the hammer in the living room?
At least 20, but then she was still alive. I dragged her into the room, as you probably clearly saw, and then I kind of warmed my hands into her brains to kind of just cut it. She was still snoring.
Okay. So she was still alive?
She was still alive.
And you went in there and you kind of grabbed those brains?
Yeah, finished it.
Alright. Did you use a knife on her?
Actually, I was going to, but no, I didn't get to do that.
Did you, did you, I guess you never got to stab her with a knife?
No,
It was all with a hammer?
it was all with the hammer in my hand.
And where did you hit her with the hammer?
The head.
All in the head area?
All in the head, I believe. I may have gotten her hand because she was covering herself.
Okay.
Is this in the front or the back of the head?
Top, back, mainly. No, actually, the entrance wound is around yonder somewhere here.
Okay.
And then, so when you dragged her to the living room, to the bedroom, you kept on hitting her there?
Yeah, I kind of went.
That's where that's when you reached in and grabbed the brain?
Yeah, I kicked at it a bit. Then I just, that was kind of silly, but then I just decided to reach in and kind of just do it.
And then what did you do after that?
Then I had sex with her corpse.
You did? Did you come inside her?
I did, actually.
Have you ever done that before, like had sex with her?
No, I haven't, actually.
This is just the first time?
Oh, yeah, I've lost my virginity to a corpse.
Okay. Did you change in the bathroom? Did you?
I did. I took a bath before then. My penis really, well, that's a little personal, but yeah, I needed to clean it off, and so, and then I changed. Yeah.
Okay. How about your sister? What's your sister's name?
Desiree Hill.
Is she okay?
She is okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Where does she live?
At an apartment actually very near here. That big kind of Hispanic thing. Like Spanish-looking building. It's an old apartment complex with a code.
Was it a fantasy of yours to kill her as well?
It was.
Did you write down that on your note?
Oh, I did actually, but I decided against it because, well, I'd had my fill of killing. I didn't. Seemed a little much. A little too excessive, yeah.
So after you went in and you killed her, and you made sure that she was dead by grabbing her brain and moving it around, then you took her clothes off, or was she already unclothed?
I actually had to drag her by her clothes to get her in there. It was very laborious, actually.
She's a pretty big woman. She's heavy.
Yeah.
Hey, is she your natural mother? Biological mother?
Yeah, actually, she is my natural mother. I take after my father.
Okay.
Hey, what kind of thrill did you get by having sex with her?
I'd always loved my mother, I guess in the wrong sort of way, but a kind of love, I guess. Maybe some rage. Maybe just a little.
Was it a Freudian style?
Freudian? I kind of get where you're coming from. Sure, why not? Yeah.
Alright. Have you killed anybody else before?
I have not.
You just fantasized about it?
I just fancy, yeah.
What got you to this point? Tell us about what got you to this point. Did you hate life? You wanted to commit suicide? Oh, what did you say about when you told her you wanted in a roundabout way to commit suicide? She said no. She said yes. What did she say to you?
She said, basically, I'm a grown man, and what I do, she can't really stop me. She was distraught over it, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, she said she'd cope with it. If you kill him, that's kind of why she wanted me to go away. Why she called my sister to come pick me up, and that's kind of why I just left.
So at that point, you got pissed?
Not necessarily. I just knew it was time to act now or never.
How long have you had this thoughts in your brain?
It's around my preteens, actually. Yeah.
Do you ever seek any kind of medical attention, psychological? Do you feel that you can cope with that?
Nope, I never really seeked help, actually. I just accepted it as a part of me. I wasn't really ashamed of it. It just was what it was.
Let's talk about the notes that you wrote. How many notes did you write?
3.
3. There was one in the living room.
Yeah.
That one was addressed to who?
Desiree, my sister. 'Cause I knew she's a good girl, but rather sensitive. I knew she would lose her head if she kind of saw that.
Do you remember what the note said?
Keep your head. Hurry. She might still be alive, although I highly doubt it in parentheses.
Mm-hmm.
Something along those lines. Yeah.
But
Sincerely.
when you wrote the note, you knew your mom was already dead.
Oh, yeah, I knew it. You know,
So you're just messing with Desiree by writing that she might still be alive?
my sick sense of humor.
Okay.
I was pretty well off my rocker by then.
And then there's a second note in your mom's bedroom. What did that one say? Do you remember?
Chase me.
Was that addressed to the police or to who?
I was just in a very playful mood at the time.
Okay.
I just wanted to run. Just wanted to see how far I could get. But
Yeah. So what? Your plan was to leave town, or what? According to one of the notes that you wrote.
Oh yeah,
But a bus?
yeah, the Greyhound bus. I was gonna try to get out of the state or anything really.
But I guess something else happened. You ended up at somebody's house.
No,
What
actually.
happened?
I told you my plan was foiled because she wanted to. She talked to me. She said my sister's gonna come pick me up now, like in a few minutes.
Uh-huh.
Go over with her, and that's when I said it's time to act, now or never.
I see.
I just went over to their house to use their phone, and then I was using their phone, so I thought I might as well tell them when they asked me questions. I mean, they had questions on using their phone. And
Where was this at? Where did you end up at?
ultimately, I ended up in the backwoods of a ditch.
Here in town or out of town?
Robstown.
In Robstown. How did you get over there?
In Corpus Christi, I biked halfway, and then I got to the train tracks, and then I ditched the bike in the thick woods, and then from the train tracks, I just walked.
To Robstown.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you came up to was it like the first house that you saw, or how did you
Oh.
go to this house to ask to use the phone?
Initially, my plan was just to run as far as I can, but then I ended up crying my eyes out in like the thick woods, like, what did I do? And I realized, you don't know what you lost till you've already lost it. And so I knew that my life wasn't going to go anywhere, not anymore. So I just kind of gave it up midway.
But what brings you here other than your life? Is you just give up on life now and you need to tell somebody what happened, basically, right?
I guess, yeah.
Your inside you want to do one thing, but your inside tells you more, like your heart, right? It's talking out of your heart. You feel sorry you did this to your mom?
In a way, yes, but I wouldn't take back what I did. It's strange, really. I did love her. In a way.
Has she been mean to me?
Oh, no, she's been the best mother.
Okay, so there's nothing that she did?
Oh, absolutely nothing, no.
If I was to ask you, what did she do to deserve this, what would you answer?
Absolutely nothing. I'm a cruel, disgusting person. Yeah, basically.
How'd you come up with the idea to kill her and have sex with her?
How did I come up with it?
Yeah, was it?
It's been a developing
Just,
idea. My brain.
But you haven't gotten ideas from games or videos, or you're not into some of those dark games?
Some things inspired me, but they did not necessarily plant the seed. You get me? They didn't plant the seed, but they did egg me on, rather, I guess.
Is that the books you've been reading?
Not necessarily. I watched them. I recently got into watching some foreign movies, creepy stuff, not necessarily mainstream horror, the kind of stuff that you keep away from.
Oh, okay. So are you into witchcraft? Anything like that?
No. Not right. I guess it sounds kind of, strange.
I'm just interested because it's something unusual and you're here telling us about it and you appear to be a nice guy. You appear to be a good guy. You're not yelling and screaming at us.
You seem very rational.
You're very rational. You're pretty good guy. This is what I'm trying to figure out. That's all.
Well, despite how I ended her life, I'm kind of more fascinated by the more artistic ways of murder, the meticulous manner, the way they cut them open. Just sliced them to pieces. I mean, such care, such love, and
Where did the hammer come from that you used?
from her drawer.
Okay.
Yes.
And then after you killed her, you just left it there, the hammer?
I did.
Yes. If you saw a hammer there next to her body, that's the one you used.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there was some blood on the knife, but you said you never used it. I guess just blood just from where you grabbed it or on the.
Oh, that knife. Actually, I used that to stir her brains up a little, but then that didn't really work out, so I just kind of decided to delve on it.
Did you do that in the living room or the bedroom? Because we found that it wasn't in the bedroom.
I may have started out.
So,
Yeah, actually, I used the knife in the living room, and then didn't I take it with me?
so her brains were already kind of coming out when in the living room when you dragged her?
Yes, but she was still snoring like a baby, and so I just kind of dragged her.
Explain to how you grabbed her so that you wouldn't leave such a mess in the carpet.
That
Did you carry her from underneath the arms and just dragged her, or how did you drag her?
was very sloppy, actually. I kind of just winged it. I dragged her from her shirt. I dragged her by her legs. I dragged her by any way I kind of felt.
Okay.
I don't really exert physical labor, too, so I'm not a very strong person.
She's bigger than you are.
Yeah.
She's bigger than you.
How many siblings do you have? Is it just you and Desiree?
I do have a half-brother, actually, but I haven't seen him in a long while.
Does he live here in town or no?
He doesn't.
Okay. How about Dad? What is Dad? He's not in the picture, your dad?
No, not really. He's an idiot. He's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an idea where he's at?
Probably somewhere in Fort Worth, maybe.
And you lived there with your mom at the Windrush Apartments? What's the apartment number there?
1707.
Which, you have your own bedroom there?
I do.
Okay. Alright. So the note where you wrote the plan that you were going to leave town and kill your mom, kill your sister, that was the one that we found it. We found it in one of the bedrooms. Not where your mom was, but the other one. That was your room?
Yeah, that was
Two-bedroom
the
apartment?
the big, blank, floppy looking, yeah.
Okay. But your sister didn't live with you guys?
She did.
Okay.
There was a magic marker there on top of the little desk here in your room.
Magic marker?
Permanent marker.
Like a marker.
Permanent marker.
Okay, permanent marker, yes.
Is that the one you used? It was on a little like folding table. Is that where you wrote your notes?
I think I just grabbed a piece of like my old schoolwork and just kind of.
How do you do in schoolwork, man? Going back to school, how do you do in schoolwork?
Pretty mediocre. I never really could muster, but didn't even really care. I mean, I guess I excelled in English for all that was worth.
Okay. How about sports?
No, I don't like sports.
You don't like football, none of that? I know you're a little small for football, but...
Oh,
What school did you go to?
Ray High School.
Ray? And you were in 10th grade?
Yeah.
Oh. Did you ever tell anybody else what your plans were? That, what you wanted to do, your mom or your sister?
No, but over the years, there were hints. As a younger boy, I was a lot dumber, a lot more angsty, I said things, but I guess they basically brushed it off. I guess the hints were everywhere, but they're my family. Family looks past that kind of stuff, or they try to not look at it, I guess.
Let me ask you. At this point, what do you consider yourself? I'm going to use a dirty word, okay? But I don't mean to insult you, okay? Do you consider you mentally disturbed? Do you consider yourself crazy? What do you consider yourself? Any of those? Or you think you're okay? You just got some bad thoughts?
I'm not mentally disturbed. I mean, I'm sane. I know exactly what I did. I know that it's wrong in the traditional sense of wrong.
Hello. It was just a fantasy you had, and you had to carry it out.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Now I feel vaguely, but kind of like I'm done.
So,
you still feel like you're done with your mom. You still feel like you want to keep on killing? To keep on, with other fantasies? Or how do you feel?
I came here to pay for my crimes, so I guess I should continue with the truth. Truthfully.
Yes, definitely.
I would kill again.
How about us? You think you want to kill us?
Oh, no. Rather, men aren't my thing, actually.
Women.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I don't. I've never had a girlfriend.
I'll tell you what. Give me your fantasy of killing a woman. What Oh, your fancy killing would be your ace killing. What could that be?
This is a little peculiar. I'm on camera. Okay.
I'm not surprised at what I'm going to hear, but you tell me.
Maybe dressing up in a nice suit, sneaking into her house, disabling her boyfriend. You know, yeah, I'd bring a pretty dress with me to dress her up in. I was always into strangling, but after that last blunder, I guess maybe something big and sharp would be more along my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I could, I don't know, probably decapitate her, as I prefer my women dead. I would dress her up, I'd stitch her up, and just kind of try to work the head back on, perhaps. And then I'd go to town, and it would be a night to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd kind of just burn everything and run for the hills.
Now, you mentioned that you lost your virginity to a corpse.
Yeah.
Can you tell a little bit about that? What happened?
Oh, well, just last night, my mother. Yeah.
Okay, not somebody else. You're talking
Yeah.
about your mom.
Yes.
Okay, so before that, you had never had sex.
Well, I guess since I'm being quiet about it, I might as well tell you now. Yeah, and it's on the note too, the PS part. We used to have a gray cat named Claire. Oh yeah, bestiality is a thing of mine too.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know. And so I strangled it, I drowned it, and then I cut it open. And you know the rest.
Mm.
Kind of get the rest.
You had sex with the cat, with the dead cat.
Yeah, ripped it open, stuck it in there. Yeah.
You ever had sex with a live person?
No. No.
So that your thing, having sex with a live person, that doesn't turn you on. It's dead thing, dead person, dead animals. That's what turns you on.
I don't necessarily mind. I don't have standards or morals.
Mm-hmm.
Body's a body, and in the end, it's a piece of meat. I guess it's harsh to say, but
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't necessarily mind.
How about the idea of hurting yourself? Do you have the same idea now?
Oh,
Do you have the same idea that you want to hurt yourself, commit suicide?
no, it's over for me. I'll face the music. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
There's not a happy ending for me, definitely.
Well, just tell me, what do you think should happen to you? What do you think your punishment should be?
Whatever the judge, the people, jury deems fit, I can rot, I can suffer for years, or I can be given the death penalty, whatever they think is for me.
What do you think you deserve? Killing your mom, having sex with your mom.
But I just deserve to rot and suffer. I mean, it is what it is.
Okay, I want to give you some options here. Okay. 10 years probation, 20 years in the pen, 100 years in the pen. What do you prefer from those cities?
Name them again.
Probation, 10 years. 10 years in the pen, 15 years, 100 years in the pen.
100.
The maximum.
I suppose. I mean,
I admire your mind, man. You don't sit here and try to baby yourself to death.
came here to face the music. I guess just gotta.
Yeah.
What is this?
Thank you very much.
Anything else you want to add about what happened that's important that we should know?
Not really. I'm sure interested in other colorful details.
Have you ever heard your sister?
No, I haven't.
No.
Anybody else?
No.
You didn't ever kill anybody else or anything else?
Oh, no. Yeah, that was my first.
You ever been on Blucher Street?
Mm-hmm.
You ever been on Blucher Street?
Is he referring like
Blucher Street?
Blucher Street.
You know where Blucher Park is?
I haven't.
It's a large area of Karankawa, Takawara.
It's down the street here in the uptown area. I had a woman that was killed back then. So.
Oh, no, not me.
Oh, okay.
And then,
This is the first time you're saying, right? That you killed somebody?
Yeah.
A person, not an animal?
Yes.
Do you want to know what's going to happen to you now?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Very simple. you're going to be booked at the county. First, you take the city facility, you charge with murder. Then you will be transferred over to the county, where, of course, you'll go to the county jail. They'll set a bond for you and everything else, and if you can afford to get out of jail, so be it. And if you can't, sit there and jump to your trial. Okay? The trial, you can plead not guilty, and you can go to trial, and let the jury decide if you're guilty or not, or you may be able to cut a deal with the district attorney for whatever time you want to cut a deal for. Okay? Spare the jury. You know, and a jury, of course, a jury of 12, you might have several women or several men. The thing to remember is all those people have had mothers in the past. And they may not be too proud of you.
Oh, of course. I don't expect people to think very highly of me after this.
Hey, but like I said, I admire you for your honesty. You were honest with us, and you didn't cut bullshit. Okay, and you're like a man. You came out here and took it like a man.
So, around what time was it that you did this to your mom yesterday?
Probably ended around 8-ish, 9-ish.
Nighttime? Night?
Yeah, night.
Okay. And then what time did you leave the apartment and ride off on your bike?
Maybe around 9-ish, 10-ish, late night. Late 9.
And then today is when you ended up at that house in Robstown?
Yeah.
Where would your bike be at?
Probably in the undergrowth around the train tracks, just a little east of that house. But it's really deep in. No, wait, you said my bike?
Yes.
Okay, I was talking about my other stuff. But my bike is... I was going nowhere at the time. I don't even remember the street I was on. I just kind of stuffed it in the undergrowth near the railroad.
Near the railroad in 44 or what?
No, it was kind of a residential area. I remember going down a steeper hill with my bike, and I just ditched it. Wasn't worth much, and that side kind of road is a little hard, of course.
Do you know how to drive?
I don't know how to drive.
Oh, is that why you didn't take your mom's car?
Exactly.
I think your mom's car is still parked there now.
Did anything happen to your mom's car?
Oh, nothing.
Okay. If we were to take you, would you go show us where the bike sat in the park?
Oh,
Could you do that?
I don't remember the street name, but I could help, yeah.
Interested to recover your bike.
What kind of bike is it? What does it look like?
It's rad, very dirty.
Is it like a 10-speed, like, or a BMX type bike, or
6-speed. 6-speed, yeah.
And when you left their apartments, which way did you go?
I kind of zigzagged around like an idiot because I had no idea where I was going to go. And it was a little leisurely. Because, I mean, after you murder someone, after you cross that kind of line, you don't really think much about it.
Okay, so would you say you went down Highway 44 all the way down to Rockstone?
I think I did pass over that past thing. I passed by a car dealership. I don't remember, quite frankly.
You mentioned the other things. When you mentioned bikes, I thought you meant the other things. What other things are there?
Oh, I'm just talking about my backpack and other things.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
And which is way down far the line, just a little east of the house I ended up at in Cal Allen. So it's Cal Allen and stuff.
by the railroad tracks?
Yeah, Corpus Christi bike, but it's Cal Allen stuff. Backpack and whatnot is really stuck underneath the undergrowth. Yeah.
Okay. And we probably to recover that. Hoping we can find it. Would it be all right for you to take it down there once we find the railroad?
Oh, you want me to? Yeah, I can show you.
Okay. I'll tell you what, let us get through with the rest of the people you have here. And then we'll hop in the car and we'll take it down there and we'll try to recover your backpack and your bike and go from there.
Okay.
Is there anything in your backpack full of blood or anything else that we need to worry about?
I don't believe so, just some supplies I kind of just threw in there.
Yeah, you said you took a shower at the house and everything, right?
Oh, I did, yeah.
So you were covered in blood?
I was covered in blood, my glasses, everything. It was a mess.
Okay, well, then we got to put you in another room where we really shut it down, and then we'll go from there. We should care for more water or anything. It's up to you, man. I got it in the refrigerator if you want it.
I think I'm fine. I'll just finish this.
You were a man, kept close like a man. I mean, not somebody else. You came close with him. You did what you did, and you came and said it. I admire men like that. I work this kind of stuff all the time, and you get a lot of time, but a lot of time people all of a sudden did something, and all they wanted to do was out of it. You want to take responsibility. You're a different person.
My life's taken a different turn. Time to change, I guess. I don't know.
Why don't you come over here? It was me and
Oh, you makeup, right?
Yeah.
We need to find your sister just to make sure that she's okay. You said you didn't hurt her, right?
I did not.
We're trying to call her on the phone. We can get her. Does she go to school?
No, she doesn't go to school currently.
Oh, because we said maybe she's in college or something. Does she work?
She works at Mesquite Bar and Grill, I believe.
That's the one in Saratoga?
I would not know, but probably.
Yeah, and her name is Desiree.
Desiree Hill. Yeah.
How old is she?
24.
you know her phone number?
I'm sorry, I don't know about it now.
Okay, if I was you, then would you tell me if he's right or not?
Oh, you have numbers? Oh.
I don't know about numbers, and I got to look. 459-7215. Does that sound right?
Oh, where are you getting these numbers from? Kind of sounds familiar.
Oh, I'm getting the numbers from the house.
I guess you could try. It sounds vaguely familiar.
Does it have a 361 area code?
It does. Yeah, it has
361.
361.
Whose area code is 443? 443, whose area code is that?
I wouldn't know. It kind of rings a bell. Maybe something on my mother's contacts, but I wouldn't know.
Okay. Let me go get key for the stuff. Let me get key for the stuff. Okay. Is this what this is up?
The number you have?
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar, that number that you detected?
549 kind. Does it have 361?
No, this one has the area code of 443, I think.
You know, it may be under her dad's.
443 is the area code. 459.
Let me call it.
But does she have a local number? The last time you talked to her on the phone, when was it?
Well, I have a list of contacts, so I never bother to remember numbers by memory.
Whose phone is in the floor? Is it yours?
It's people.
Her phone on the floor in the bedroom?
Oh, that should be my bedroom.
No, hers.
I believe I left her phone in the living room. Was it pink?
Yes.
Okay, then that is definitely hers, wherever it is. I thought it was familiar.
Desiree, this is servant of the service meeting. Please call at this number that I'm calling you on. I'll talk to you quick guys. I'll talk to you. Where could she be at now?
Probably sleeping since last I checked. She works late. And you remember that apartment I told you that's nearby here? Sort of Spanish set. I forgot the name of